Afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Dark Shed Live, the Sunday sessions. Hope you're all doing well out there. Got your cup of tea, chilling, enjoying the sun. Possibly, I'm going to get out there in a bit and just relax. Possibly go for my daily exercise walk. I think it's just getting weird, aren't they? I enjoy spending time by myself, but being forced to do it, it's starting to kick in a bit now. So anyway. I had a bit of a sort out of my film this week. Went through what I've got, kind of just taking stock. I'm not a huge film hoarder. I tend to try and tick over and only buy what I know I'm going to be using. So I'm kind of buying stuff for that purpose. But while I was there, looking through my cupboard of bits, I found some film, some expired film at the back. So I'm going to give that away for free. Unfortunately, I can only really do that to UK people at the moment, just because I need to be able to put it in the post box on my daily walks. However, if you would like some free film, now is your chance. It's expired, so obviously there's no guarantees, to what results you're going to get, but hey, it's good fun, isn't it? I've got some Polaroid 600. This expired in 2009, and I've not had huge success with it myself, and the batch that I bought this from, I'm trying to just grab these. I was hoping to show you these in colour. These are the results I got, so I can use it. I used it at Christmas. This was another one. I've got no idea what that's an image of. Who knows? Who knows? But if that's your sort of thing, and you're interested in expired Polaroid film, I actually think I've got a couple of these. So if you want them, I'll tell you how to get those in a second. The other film that I've got, it's all medium format. Some Portra 400, some Pan F, and some T-Max 100, not even in its foil, so that's going to be fun. The medium formats all been through like airport scanners and various degrees of heat and cold. So yeah, it's all a bit of fun really. Just going to say hi Hillary, how are you doing? Hope you're okay. If you'd like any of these films, all you have to do is post a photo on Instagram or Twitter and tell me a bit about the photo. That'd be nice. And tag it with Dark Shed Live and tag me in it as well. And then on Thursday I will close it off, and yeah, if more than one person wants the type of film, I'll draw them out of a hat. Otherwise I'll just close it off on Thursday and done. What's Hillary saying? Most Polaroids look like that. Yeah, it's pretty funky. It is pretty funky. It's very orange. I'm wondering if you could scan them actually and get something out of it. But there's something there, and like these were taken. Actually, these weren't taken this Christmas, so they were taken the previous Christmas. So it's not as if the image disappears either after a while. It stays in that form. So like I say, I've got two of those. Give us a shout. Tag if you want them. Right. What did I do previously on? What day is it? Sunday. On Thursday, I had a quick run through of ID11, mixing up and creating a big batch of film developer. One thing I didn't mention, which Mark brought up on Twitter, was do I expel the air that you get in the top of expel the air in the top of the container? And the answer is yes, I do, and I use this. And this stops the oxygen being in the top of the tank when you close the container. What's Dave saying? Was the dev okay? No, I haven't done it yet, Dave. I haven't done it. Slow down. This isn't a rush. This is a chilled session. I expel the air with this, so when you decant it, you have to then refill it with this. And I don't know how this works. I assume it's denser than air, so it pushes all the oxygen out, and you close it off. There we go. It's another way of like if you mix up a big batch, and you're not going to be using it very rapidly, then yeah, get some of this in because it helps. Although the cost of the developer is so cheap, I don't know, compared to the cost, I can't remember how much this is, probably like 15 quid. I don't know if it's worth it. I really don't know, like financially. That leads nicely onto today's experiment, where I'm talking about expired chemicals. I have been a little bit lazy. Let's just bring this up. So, as you can see, I've got my trays laid out here. And this tray here, some of you who've been observant may have noticed that I have not moved that or changed it in the last 2 weeks of doing these. So that might lead you to believe that I didn't even, hold on a second, sorry, I'm having camera issues. Let's see if that stays on now. Yeah, I didn't put the chemicals from this tray into one of these tubs. So it's been exposed to the air the entire time for 2 weeks. And that, no doubt, has messed up the developer. Just give us 2 seconds, I'm having a bit of a problem with this. There we go. Right, back up. Okay, so the developer in this tray has been exposed to air for 2 weeks, and one of the things you learn when first setting up your darkroom is that you always, when you finish your session, you need to put your chemicals back in the containers to keep the air away from them, because the chemicals stop working after they've been exposed to air for long periods. And also, like, no one ever says why, what happens. It just stops working. But what does that actually give you as a result? And what should you be looking for to see if your chemicals have expired? So I thought I'd just go through that today, just to show you. Now I know that these chemicals are no good. I'll put some fresh ones in here, and we'll just do a side-by-side comparison. I have already set up the negative in the enlarger in here, and done my test strips, excuse me, here, and worked out my exposure times grades for an okay looking quick print. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to produce 3 identical exposures. Let's just turn all the lights off. Right, let's just make sure everything's... Hello everybody, oh crikey, nice little turnout today. Dave, Alex, Toby, Hillary. Great to see you all, thanks for joining. Here we go. Right, I hope you can see this. Paper, enlarger setup, you can see the print is going to be going into this easel. Expose there. So I'm going to get 3 pieces of paper out. And my intention is to do one with newly mixed dev. Just going to hide these other pieces of paper behind my back while I expose this. One with the newly mixed developer, and 2 in the stuff that's been kicking around for ages. One of the ones, an expired developer, I'll take out after a minute, after its designated time. And then another one I'll leave in for longer to see if we get a good result just by doing that. Second one. Oh, move the easel. I hate these crappy little plastic easels. Right. There's the third one exposing. Right, so I've got my timer set to a minute. New developer. Old developer. Take that out. And I want to try and keep the timings quite similar for these so we've got direct comparisons. So, first one's in. Next one in. And the final one in. Let's just start timing now. Quick agitation on them all. And I'll agitate them all the same as well. So after 30 seconds we'll give them an agitation. So as you can see, the fresh developer is coming out already after, what was that, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. These are just starting to come out now. Good. Okay, so then we're going to go straight to the stop path with them. Start moving them across now. So one of these I'm going to leave in here. Sticky paper. Let's just put another timer on for 2 minutes on that. And take these out to stop. Fix. So we can see, well, you can definitely see this better than me. But there's a huge difference between those two. You can tell that already. Give this one a little agitation. So that's been in for 1.5 minutes now, probably a bit longer. And it's starting to look a little bit darker than that one. So they're the comparison. They've been in the same developer, just for a longer period. Basically, I want to see if I can get this one developed fully, but I want to see if there's any contrast difference between those two. Right, so they've been in there a good minute now, so I can take these out. In the wash. Try and keep them in order. Right, I'm going to take this out now. So that's been in there. What's that, an extra 1.5 minutes, possibly up to 2 minutes longer. Quick dunk and stop. Into the fix. And grab a cup of tea. Because obviously you don't drink or eat in a dark room, right? Now we can turn the lights on now. I'll take that out, fix into the wash. Give all those couple of minutes in there. Interesting. Right. Anybody been spending any time in the dark room while on lockdown? I really thought I was going to have more time to be in here, but I don't know what's going on at the moment. Maybe things will actually kind of settle down a bit, but I've been bizarrely busy last week. Like, in a good way. Like, I went from having massive panic because of no opportunities for anything to actually having a couple of things come up and kind of planning things and thinking to the future, which you would hope would come along anyway. But no, it's been, it's helped a bit because it's got me out of a bit of a funk. So let's take these out of here, shift them over to there. The prints on there are the ones that I did last week when we were creating photograms. So check out the previous videos, see how they were made. Hopefully I've got those in the right place, you can see them. All good. Right, let's bring those up large so you can see it in a bit more detail. There we go. Right, so this was the fresh developer. This was the expired developer for the same amount of time. These were 60 seconds. And then this was the expired developer for, well, it was like 2.5 minutes. So that's getting close to that, development wise, but yeah, it's definitely a lower contrast. I don't know if that's coming through on there very well. See if I can pick them up. So there we go. Don't use expired developer. Or, most importantly, be bothered to put your chemicals in containers after you've finished using them, because you'll get a lot more life out of them. What I might do is the tray, actually I'll definitely do it. The tray that I've had open to air, I'm going to put that in, camera's gone off again. God damn it. The tray that I've had open to air, I will pour that into something else, and I'm going to keep it there open for about a month, and then I'll redo this experiment. You can see how that transpires, what results we get from it. So there we go. I think that's today's experiment all done, isn't it? Got any questions? Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, you can contact me on Twitter and Instagram at The Dark Shed, and subscribe to the YouTube channel to be notified and to follow along when there are going to be more broadcasts. Don't forget, if you want some free expired film, it's all yours. All you have to do is tag me on Twitter and Instagram with the hashtag DarkShedLive, and I'll send it through. UK only odds, just because of postage at the moment. I've got a question come through from Alex about how long do you keep Dev in a bottle before you discard it? That is a question I can't directly answer. I don't use trays. I use Nova slot processors. I'll get a mobile camera at some point and show you how they work. But basically they have a stopper that goes along the top of the slot processor, so the air doesn't get to the chemicals, so they last a lot longer, and it means that you don't have to be bothered to empty your trays every time you use them. I've gone well over a month before I've changed those chemicals. So the other thing that happens is, like, they get exhausted because the more you use them, the activity on the paper drops off, and I've only ever changed them when I've noticed that in my prints. So if I'm noting down everything I'm doing and I know a direct comparison between prints of the same type, I'm getting a different result, or it's taking longer to develop, I know it's time to change them. But with those, it's well over a month So I'm guessing if you're pouring into airtight containers, actually in the spec sheets for developer, it says how many like 8x10s you can process with 1 litre of chemicals. So check that out. You could work it out. You could note it down as you're going along, or you kind of just get a feel for it and just go, yeah, I haven't changed it in a while. It's time to flip it out. So there we go. Look at that. Actually kept it nice and short today. Nice and compact. If you've got any further questions, drop them on Twitter or in the comments below. I had a question from Al about going through my process of how I choose what to print off a contact sheet, which I'll definitely go through because I have these images here, which I've actually already selected which ones I'm going to print. I've already printed one of them, but I can go through the process of how I go from that to choosing which ones I'm going to print at some point. So thanks for that, Al. Any other questions, don't hesitate to get in touch. Great to see you all. Take care out there and see you soon. Bye.